What is going on, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to talk about something very interesting we heard from Rich Cimini, the beat reporter for the New York Jets of ESPN. He was on his podcast, and he had something interesting to say that the New York Jets could make a surprise move this offseason. Now, you see the thumbnail, you see the two players on the screen. Yeah, he mentioned DJ Reed and Michael Carter II as two players the New York Jets could potentially, not saying it's actually happening, it's Rich Cimini just speculating about what could happen in the offseason, because the New York Jets right now really want to upgrade this team, but they're kind of capped out on the defensive end in terms of cap room. They might have to sacrifice one of their very good players in order to open up cap space to plug in other holes on the offensive side of the football with Aaron Rodgers returning. So I want to share my thoughts of this because I have very interesting takes of what Rich Cimini had to say. So let's hear from Rich Cimini himself. I'm going to play the clip from his podcast. But before we hear from Rich, make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to Jets Media and comment down below your thoughts of what he has to say. So let's hear what he has to say. Let's break it down.
I think there's going to be a surprise move this offseason, either a cut or a trade. And I'm not talking about the Zach Wilson trade because I think we consider that a foregone conclusion. But the Jets might have to trade one of their promising young players to try to get back, a draft capital or open up some cap room. And that's why I'm thinking of a guy like Michael Carter, really good slot corner. Want to keep him, of course, but maybe you could trade him for something, a draft pick that they could use. You hate to trade a guy on a team-friendly contract, but to get good things, you have to trade good things. What about a DJ Reed? Really outstanding corner in the prime of his career. I think they would want to keep Sauce Gardner for the long term, so maybe DJ Reed is a guy you think you could part with. Tough decisions ahead for the Jets, but these are tough decisions that have to be made just to create some flexibility along the way. Because like I said, the cap squeeze is going to hit this year, and they have to get this offensive line fixed, because if they don't, man, you just don't want to relive another Aaron Rodgers nightmare.
So obviously a lot to unpack there from Rich. Really broke it down to the perspective of if the Jets want to make a trade, these are the valuable players that they have. And that's kind of how I'm taking this, in a way of like, okay, if the Jets want to shake up their roster, which players on their team has the most value right now? And Michael Carter II has a lot of value in the trade market. He's on a team-friendly deal. He's arguably one of the best slot corners in the NFL. My issue is, I want to keep Michael Carter II. I want to extend the man. He is so underrated. He is such a big piece of this New York Jets secondary, as well as DJ Reed. DJ Reed next to Sauce Gardner. I think every Jets fan can agree we don't want to break up the three cornerback trio of Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and Michael Carter II. So the first reaction that I have is no, absolutely not. But I do think that it is interesting to hear, though, because what if the Jets have to? And the only reason why I'm saying this is because what was the biggest issue last year? We all know it, the elephant in the room. It's the offense. And the Jets have so many holes on offense, starting with the offensive line. And, of course, some weapons around the quarterback next to Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, the only two players on offense we feel comfortable with going into next season. There's some other solid players that I can mention. Tyler Conklin, I think, is a solid football player. I'm excited to see with Aaron Rodgers next year. But outside of that, we have some promising talent, like youthful guys of Gibson and Brownlee and Rucker. But, we need talent on the offensive side of the football. And right now you can argue that the defense is it's not even arguable, actually. I take that back. The defense is so loaded up with talent where the Jets might have to sacrifice some of the defensive talent in order to balance it out, to have the same type of talent, if not as good talent, on the offensive side of the football. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it, because I would rather keep Michael Carter II, keep DJ Reed, because you're just going to make holes on the defensive side of the football. But the one thing is, the Jets on offense, we need to score points. And we are seeing what's going on in the NFL wildcard round right now. It's all recapped. It's all done. The quarterbacks, the offense, those are the teams that are in the divisional round for the AFC in particular. CJ Stroud is literally taking over the league, and he is the reason why the Texans have won that playoff game and are in this position they are in. Patrick Mahomes, we all know Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks of this generation already. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. It's a quarterback quarterback-centric league, a quarterback-centric conference, and with Aaron Rodgers returning, the Jets might have to really sacrifice some defensive players in order to load up on offense. Now, not to say I'm all in on that, but it is something that Jets fans might have to open their minds about, say, damn, this is actually something that could happen. The Jets have some tough decisions to make because it takes good players and good assets in order to trade to get even better assets potentially. And me personally, I want to keep MC2 and DJ Reed. I already said that over and over again in this video, but those are just two names to look out for. Another name is obviously Bryce Huff, and the only way the Jets can really get some capital back from Bryce Huff is if they franchise tag him and trade him, which is definitely a possibility. I don't really see Bryce Huff returning, unfortunately. I think the Jets are capped out and they can't afford the contract he's going to be looking for. So if the Jets want to get something in return, you maybe have to do that. But it is an interesting conversation. There's so many holes on offense. The defense is stacked up. Do we sacrifice some defensive players to balance out the offensive defense to go into next season? Interesting conversation. Sound off in the comments. Where's your mind at with this? And hit that like button if you guys enjoy, guys. Let's go, Jets. It's the 2024 offseason. Let's see what we got in store. Appreciate all the support, guys. Peace out.